I'm actually excited for this one because I thought this was a super good idea.
Thank
So
you.
next segment is we're going to take the top quarterbacks from 10 to 25. This is going to be in no particular order. I just took those 15 quarterbacks and I threw them in there. So we have 15 quarterbacks ranked from 10 to 25, and we're going to discuss whether we would cut or extend their contracts if we had the option to extend them today.
And the reason why
So,
I brought up this idea is because instead of us ranking the 10 best quarterbacks, that's stupid. I think it's much more interesting anytime we're talking about rankings. Let's rank let's get the elite guys out of the way and let's rank the rest, because that's a little more fun and a little more thought provoking than, oh, hey, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest. Yeah, we know. So that's why I brought this up. Like, the Baker Mayfield, the Kenny Pickett. So that's why I brought up the idea of doing this. So we'll see how it shakes out.
All right. So first one on the list, Justin Fields.
Cut.
Yeah, cut. Absolutely. Like,
did
instantly.
You see that DJ Moore came out this week and like threw his support behind him?
Yeah, I did.
That shows me that kid works really hard. He's studying the playbook. He's putting the work in at practice, doing everything that he can. But man, if you're not a quarterback in the NFL, you're not a quarterback in the NFL.
Yep. And I agree. No matter what. I mean, and let the record show with that whole draft class, I thought Justin Fields was probably the most accurate quarterback in that class outside of Trevor Lawrence, and it's not worked out.
And the thing about that also is that going back to our topic we had last week, the problem with Justin Fields is I don't think he's a backup quarterback either. That's not the type of player you want sitting behind your backup. You want Luke McCown for 30 years,
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I mean, if the Bears cut him, if the Bears move off of him, someone gives him a chance because he's still young and he's insanely talented. But that's not the player I'm moving forward if it's my franchise.
Yeah. And Jordan Love.
Man, I think I said 2 weeks ago this dude was a baller, and then he's made me look bad the past 2 weeks. I'm extending Jordan Love. They were smart. They already extended him. They gave him a baby extension. I'm a big Christian Watson fan. That's one of the guys we disagree about in the NFL, but his talent over there is young. And Aaron Jones has been beat up all year. A.J. Dillon's averaging like -7 yards per carry. It hasn't been great with his skill guys over there, but he's got a really smart head coach, LaFleur, Shanahan tree. I would 1,000% give him the reins with zero doubts for next year. Running back Jordan Love, let's see if he can develop, get a little better, get another playmaker in there. Again, my little widget guy this year is Mike Evans. Let's put Mike Evans here. Let's put Mike Evans here. Let's put Mike Evans here. Man, put Mike Evans on the Packers. Let's see what this dude can do. So, I'm definitely extending Jordan Love.
Yep, absolutely agree. Jared Goff.
I'm extending Jared Goff. Small extension.
I'm extending Jared Goff unless there was some miracle to be able to somehow, some way move up in the draft.
Yeah, the thing with Jared Goff is that I'm extending him based off of his play last year and this year. The reason why I'm hesitant on is just his age. He's getting up there to where I'm not handing him a 5-year. You know what I'm saying? You want to run it back with Detroit next year, develop a little bit more, maybe add a little bit more on the defensive side, and let's go. I'm in on that. But 3 years from now, I think that the Detroit Lions internally need to start thinking, okay, what's our segue? Is there a guy? You're not going to get as high as Michael Penix, but is there a Bo Nix, the Oregon quarterback? Is there a Quinn Ewers from Texas? And I misspoke on last week's podcast about the Heisman winner because he's coming out and he's jumped up the rankings this year. You probably can't get there either. But if there's a quarterback that you can sit for 2 or 3 years and develop, like a Jordan Love, I think it's time to start maybe looking into that situation. But I'm still extending Jared Goff for a little short-term extension.
You see, they just signed Hendon Hooker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting because I remember in the draft process, I thought that would be a good place for Hendon Hooker to go for a little bit of time.
Yeah, he's an interesting player. So is what's his face? I don't even know if he's on the Rams right now, technically. But
it's Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, just couple of interesting guys floating around out there right now.
Mm-hmm. And then Aiden O'Connell. I think I'm going to say Aiden O'Connell. I'm putting him there instead of Jimmy Garoppolo, but Aiden O'Connell.
I don't believe in it.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously what they just did was cool, but the thing about it is like it's like the Linsanity thing. You know, every team has to have a higher a leading scorer. You know what I'm saying? Every team in the NBA has a leading scorer, and every team in the NFL has somebody that puts up points. And your offense needs to elevate Aiden, as opposed to the other way around. And so the Raiders are finding themselves in that same old typical Raiders place where they win enough games to where their pick sucks. You know, it's not a late round pick, but it's not an early round pick, so they can go ahead and, you know, draft Tyree Wilson, who I think has 1 sack on the entire year this year again. So, But the thing about them, man, is there's a guy out there who has a torn Achilles right now, and I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers, who I think would be an interesting little fit over there in Las Vegas. I keep putting everybody in Vegas. Harbaugh's in Vegas. Kirk Cousins is in Vegas. Bill Belichick's going to Vegas. Zach Wilson's going to Vegas. But yeah, I don't know, man. You got him under contract. I think you definitely look to upgrade that position this offseason.
Yep.
Especially if you can get Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins and Devontae? Let's go.
Will Levis.
I'm extending Will Levis.
Yes, 100%. I don't even want to talk about it.
Give him the whole offseason to develop. What the hell were they doing this year? I don't know. Another year with Ryan Tannehill. Congratulations. Especially when you have the talent that you have. I mean, you got to try to get something a little more aggressive with Derrick Henry, because Derrick Henry's winding down a little bit. So,
yep. Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is good. He's been good for the Seahawks. Geno Smith clearly isn't good enough to beat the upper echelon of the NFC, except for the Eagles. I don't know if you can extend a quarterback that can't beat your biggest division rival. Geno Smith cannot beat the 49ers. He's not good enough. He doesn't threaten us enough. Not a lot of quarterbacks do, but I'm not sure if you can extend Geno. But I'm also not sure if a guy like Pete Carroll wants to start over again. But, you know, if they lose the next 3 games and they can find a top 15 pick, and, man, they keep talking about Michael Penix over there in Seattle.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I don't know the contract situations, but if you can cut Geno, draft a young quarterback, and ride with Drew Lock for a year based off of how he played against the Niners and how he's played against the Eagles, is it going to be all that different? Probably not.
Yeah.
I might cut Geno. Which not to say he's not good. He might go somewhere these other places that we've cut. But the Seahawks can't beat the 49ers with Geno Smith. So how far do you want to go with a quarterback that can't beat your division rival?
And Geno Smith isn't as good as Jared Goff is, but I find myself in this, like, putting them in a similar, like, situation, like, category wise. Like, I'm going to extend him with the asterisk of if they could somehow get, like you said, in that type of, like, top 15 pick, then maybe move on.
I have all the respect in the world for Geno Smith. If I met the man in person, I'd be like, you know what? I think you're an absolute role model for kids. You came into the league, you had a dream, it didn't work out. You worked really freaking hard, and when you got your next chance, you were prepared for it. And I think that's fucking awesome. Oh, I don't know if I could say that. Sorry. I think that's amazing. His career arc is amazing. I love what Geno Smith has done. And he's a role model. He's not Baker Mayfield with his attitude. He's not Carson Wentz with his attitude. As a human, and I don't know the man, but Geno Smith is all class to me. It's just, unfortunately, you play in a division and you play with a fan base that expects to compete to win every year, and you can't get over the hump. You're not good enough to beat the Niners. So,
and then next is Kyler, who we just talked about a little bit.
Yeah, all these guys are getting cut if you get Caleb, so I'm extending Kyler based off the idea that he's not getting Caleb.
Yep, and then Baker Mayfield.
I would. He's not the answer there. I don't know who is.
You extend him as a bridge, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get Kirk Cousins, let him go. But I feel that way about a lot of these guys on the list. Baker's done a really good job of, and they got a decent little offense. Rashawn White's a nice young player. Mike Evans. That's the thing, man. If Mike Evans isn't back that next year, I don't know who you put in there who's gonna do any good for you. So yeah, I mean, he's probably got a little moderate 1 to 2 year extension in my mind.
And then I'm extending Baker off of bridge. Next is
this
Derek
next
Carr.
one must be good. Cut,
bro.
That dude's
Get
trash.
this dude out of here, bro.
What happened to my
bro.
guy, Derek? Oh my gosh. I'm glad we're on the same path with this. This dude balled out for the Raiders a couple years. We're like, man, somebody save this kid. Get this kid some talent. Get this kid Devontae. Get this kid anything. Get this guy a wide receiver that's not going to run someone over and kill them. Like, help this kid out. And now he goes to the I shouldn't have said that, huh? Rest in peace. Derek Carr sucks. Why does he suck? What happened?
Yep.
Man.
Yeah.
You think you think him and David sit around at like Thanksgiving dinner and like, man, we both made it to the NFL. We both suck. Do you think it's genetic? You think they look at their dad and you're like, you asshole.
This is your fault.
Yeah, what the hell? Like,
you got us there, but not good enough.
I don't know how they continue to trot that dude. Like, they might as well just start Taysom Hill. Like, run the Wildcat or something. Because Derek Carr, like, man.
Right. It's so, God, it's so.
And they got
so
talent,
funny
bro. Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara. How can you not be better? How can you look so mediocre? This is what I'm talking about. If you put Brock Purdy in that offense, Brock Purdy's the best offense in the league. They would not look like this. They would not. If you put Derek Carr in the 49ers, that's like running freaking 85 gasoline in a Ferrari. You can't do that. Don't put that in a Ferrari.
So last year, Kings,
that's going to be a good clip.
The Kings of the second tier, Dak and Derek Carr.
Dak's been the MVP for the second tier for a long time.
And I think with this year, Dak, urges himself up and gets 100%. Himself almost in like, in that he's right there.
As did Kirk before he got hurt.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then Derek just falls, bro. He jumped off a building. If we have a tier list of S tier to F tier, and he's sitting there in that B tier, he jumped down, like cut immediately. We don't need him on the team. It's not worth it. Get him out of here. And then on top of that, this is something going to be for a future podcast. We talked about the Chargers and their kind of like state of where they're going to be going next. The Saints are in like the worst situation in the league.
Yes.
Yeah, because their cap space, and like they're not going to have any cap space until like goddamn 2029. Like they have nothing.
I think Derek Carr's a backup quarterback next year, man. I think Derek Carr is going on the Sam Darnold train. Like, you back up a really good somebody is going to sign Derek Carr and is going to give him a little bit of money because they need an insurance. Derek Carr in Indianapolis backing up an Anthony Richardson next year, that type of situation, or Derek Carr in Tennessee backing up these teams that think they're good enough to get to the next level, but their quarterback play or quarterback situation is a little suspicious because of injuries or whatnot. That's where Derek Carr is a backup quarterback going forward. I've said it. I say my piece.
Yep. And then next is Russell Wilson.
I don't know. Weird
from last year to this year.
Yeah, man. Maybe he just took some time to learn the defense. They got trounced earlier this year by the Dolphins, and they keep winning. The thing is if you believe in Sean Payton, then you think Sean Payton can take any mid-tier quarterback and be successful with him. The fact of the matter is they can't cut him, so it doesn't matter. He's going to be their quarterback till his contract runs out, just like Deshaun Watson. I don't know if he's on the list or not. He's probably below bottom 25, but you're rolling with them because you have to. But I would feel a lot better. I feel a lot better about Russell Wilson than I do Derek Carr.
Yeah.
The thing about, to go back to him is, for 1 second, is, man, the Jimmy Garoppolo situation in the Raiders has been an absolute disaster, and they would not take back the decision. They would just roll with Aiden. No, we don't need Derek Carr. No, Jimmy sucks. We'll just roll with this guy.
Yep.
So,
yeah. And then I would, if I'm making the decision, I'm not extending him, but I'm also not cutting him either. He's in the, if I had to make a decision, I'm extending him. If I was forced gunpoint to the head, you have to make a decision, I'm extending him.
Russell?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Daniel Jones.
They have no talent over there, man. I don't know. I thought he played really well last year.
Yeah.
I think he has some arm talent, and he's mobile enough to where he can be. I think he still has a little bit of a future in this league. I would extend him just because there's no surefire upgrade over him right now. And, I mean, the thing about it is you see his talent when you look at Tommy DeVito. Let's take a look. The Giants have to play the Eagles 2 more times. So, oh shit, this mock draft has Jaden Daniels going to the Giants. Yeah, I mean, if you take Jaden Daniels, if you're the Giants or you fall low enough to get Drake, I think you extend him.
Yep.
Give me a year. I don't think you need to start. I think the problem is next year everybody's going to start their guy because it's going to be like CJ Stroud. It's going to be like CJ Stroud. Nah, give the kid a year.
Yeah. Yep. And I would.
I know he's probably not on this list, but what would you do with Bryce Young?
You keep him. You got to. Just with the turmoil and there's nothing over there in Carolina. Their offensive line
could use a Christian McCaffrey right now.
The offensive line is not good. They got rid of their best player. They have aging and bad wide receivers. Their defensive talent is almost in like a tweener phase. Like they got some good young talent like JC Horn. But then you have other talent that is starting to age out a little. Like it's starting to get to like that middle age tier, like age for NFL players, right? You got like, what's his name? Brian Burns, but also their defensive tackle as well, right? So they're starting to age out a little bit where they're going to need contract extensions or make a decision there. And if you make a bad decision there, then you're going to end up paying for it for the next couple of years, which you're going to have to pay for anyways because everyone sucks.
There's not a team.
But there's no point. There's no point to make those signings if you're not even going to. They're not going to give you an opportunity to win games, especially if you don't want to win games.
There's not a player on that team that's coming up on a contract extension, in my opinion. They keep like every offseason trade deadline. Maybe we'll move Brian Burns. Just move the dude. Let him go play for a winner. Get your picks. Yep. The only player on that team that's extension eligible, in my opinion, is JC Horn. Like that's the only player that you're looking at moving forward with. Everybody else is just there's the same situation with the Cardinals to a more extent. They just need more talent. Like you can't compete in the NFL with that roster. So you need to upgrade it.
Yep. That and 45-cent ticket prices. And then next is Deshaun Watson.
Cut.
Yeah. Cut.
I'm red flagging Deshaun, but not because of his play or his talent or any of that shit. Is that guy got his money? He didn't care anymore. His shoulder hurts. He don't want to play. He sprained his toe. He doesn't want to play. Someone hurt his feelings. He doesn't want to play. His masseuse didn't show up on time. He didn't want to play. Like the dude gets a little. You know what, man? If you pay me $250 million guaranteed, I might not want to put myself in jeopardy if I wasn't feeling good either. Think about these NFL players, man. You think about the amount of like coming out of halftime. The amount of pain. Did you see like that hit that Brock Purdy took and he's like writhing all over the ground and he looks like he's like broke his arm or something like that. And then like Sam Darnold comes in and then 3 plays later, Brock Purdy throws a touchdown. NFL players are like, I'm not an NFL player, man. I got a hangnail that hurts and it's like bothered me all day. I'm Deshaun Watson minus the, the bad stuff. Like,
and it's like Zach Martin, he got hurt and he goes off the field and he doesn't come back and he's most likely going to play next week. But dude had a massive ice pack on his leg, this big wrapped, and he has his like leg hobbling almost like it's in a brace, but it's just an ice. It's just an ice pack, big ass ice pack. He's hobbling around, so yeah. And he's going to come back and he's going to play next week and he's going to, play an all pro level as he always does. Right. It's crazy. And then Matt Stafford.
Extend.
Yeah.
He's Sam getting Howell. Up there. He's almost done. He's close. I mean, to be honest with you, the 49ers wanted Matt Stafford and I wanted him too. Like their offense is still legit over there. So Sam Howell. Yeah.
Sam Howell.
I'm extending Sam Howell. I think Sam Howell's a baller. I think they need a little more talent over there, but I think they found themselves a decent little quarterback.
They need more than talent. They need coaching more than anything else.
Yeah, Riverboat Ron's got to go. He sucks. He has like 2 winning seasons in the history of his career, and it was because that frickin' Newton Cam Nugget went supernova one year. his one good year.
To me, if you look at the Washington roster, and especially pre-trades, there's no reason this team should be 4-10. There's no reason this team should be 4-10, in my opinion. If you go down the line and think about it, I don't. And they've lost 5 in a row. Like, bro, that's crazy.
I will say on this, on the Washington thing, I think a lot of times talent is recognized by their name as opposed to how good they actually are. Like, I think some people think certain people, like if you were to ask the casual NFL fan about Jamal Adams sucks. He sucks. I think the casual NFL fan thinks it's like Russell Westbrook over there in the NBA. Chase Young is not that good of a football player. He is not like the elite level. He is not in Nick Bosa's category. Pick. You know, he can't get on the field on first downs because Cleveland Farrell is doing better. And then, you know, like during the game, we moved him to the inside and we had Randy Gregory rushing the passer because Randy Gregory is a little more explosive than Chase Young is. That's a big dude, and he's more of a run defender, but he doesn't want to get in there and get nasty on the run defensive side. He just wants to rush the passer. So, I know they had talent name wise, but they need a coach. And the thing is, they got a new owner, so it's not as toxic as it was before. But you know what that NFL team needs? This is going to be funny or weird, but they need a freaking exorcism. They need somebody to come in, throw some holy water on that shit, and just new coach, new everything. Just exercise Dan Snyder and his stench out of Washington, and just start over and rebuild and be good in 2 or 3 years.
Yep. And then we have 2 more. Kenny Pickett.
Cut twice. Cut him. And cut him again. Trash.
Just for the hell of it. And then Desmond Ridder.
Cut.
Yeah, I'm cutting both those guys. And it's really sad to me because
what happened
I really
to Zach
like
Wilson?
Desmond
We didn't
Ridder.
get no Zach Wilson on the pod this time?
No.
Cut, by the way.
No. It really upsets me about Desmond Ridder too. When he was coming out, I really liked him. I liked that Cincinnati team. That Cincinnati team was talented with Alec Pierce and Desmond Ridder and Sauce, and they had a couple other guys that were pretty talented too. On top of that, they had the other corner on the other side of Sauce was talented. I don't remember his name, but he was also pretty good. But it upsets me because I remember watching film on Desmond Ridder and being like, I really like this guy's accuracy. Like, he's really poised and he seems like he's there. And I also fell in love with Alec Pierce too, and he's actually been pretty good for the Colts, and I like that, but it sucks.
I do this sometimes. I fall in love with a player because of Madden. I think I beat you in the Super Bowl in our franchise league with Desmond Ridder. I was like, this kid's a beast. And then you give him Bijan and Kyle Pitts and Drake London and every single young talented tool you can think of, and it's just like, it's mediocre, man. It just, I think their coach sucks. I think he's an absolute joke. Every time he talks to the media, it's a joke. I don't care about your fantasy team. What do you care about your team? Because your team sucks. Your offense sucks. It's like Brandon Staley every week. Just to be clear, I'm calling the plays. Well, we're just asking because your defense looks like shit, and you're supposed to be good at defense. It's the same thing with the Falcons, man. Coach got to go. The same, man. If I had it my way, Kirk Cousins would play for like 4 different teams next year. Which is funny because you wouldn't think as a fan of a team in the NFL, the 49ers, I want any teams to get better. I'm okay with it all mediocrity, but I love to watch football, and I want to watch good football. I don't want to watch the Patriots versus whoever on Thursday Night Football and whatever a Bailey Zappi is. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch that stuff last night between the Eagles and the Seahawks, man. You saw the Snapchats I was sending you. I was freaking hyped for it. That was awesome. Nobody wants to see 6-9. That sucks.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree. For the podcast, let the record show that the biggest and the greatest quarterback of all time in Madden is the Easton Stick. I just want to point that out.
6,000 yards.
In one season.
Same thing last night. Same thing with the Chargers. I was like, hey, Easton Stick. I know that guy. He's kind of a baller.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, dude, they're Madden legend, bro.
They also got the TCU quarterback on their roster.
Oh yeah,
now.
Max Duggan. Yeah,
that
they do.
He's the reason that the old Florida people are all pissed off this year because we don't want to rewatch what happened last year in the college football playoff because they caught fire a little bit. College football wants ratings, not feel good stories. Save that shit for Netflix.
Dude, that's perfect